Honor to meet you, Pathfinder. Initiative Pilot Marixus. I run supplies to your outposts.
What brings you to Aya?
Your survival supplies only Aya has. I'm waiting on clearance to enter the city, but it's taking too long. I understand their caution, but the outposts need these supplies. I have to get them, now.
They let me into the city? I can help.
I appreciate that. To start, EOS needs a way to produce food to support population growth. They've requested quinoa seeds to begin their own crops. There's an agricultural scientist who might sell some.
I'll make sure to get those seeds.
Settlers on Kadara are suffering from a bacterial infection. They need Angaran antibiotics to fight it. A medic in the city should be able to help.
Got it. They'll have that medicine in no time.
Eladin's water purifier can't keep up with demand. They're requesting one of those Angaran ionic filters. There are engineers who work in the aqueducts here. I'll bet they have what we need.
On it. One filter coming up.
I said you'd want to hear my experience with the cat, to learn from it.
I do. Tell me about it.
They had just arrived. I was on a civilian shuttle to vote when we received a message. The spaceport was on lockdown. Security concerns due to the cat. We were supposed to land on a nearby moon and wait for the all clear. Instead of landing, the shuttle captain turned back. Something felt wrong, he said. Later we learned it was a cat transmission to isolate us for capture. The captain had saved our lives.
The enemy uses confusion to take advantage of the vulnerable.
Many shuttles obeyed that false order. Those people were never seen again.
Ven, thought you'd be in a resistance holding cell.
That was Ephra's plan. He wanted to throw me down a hole once he got his precious answers. The Moshae convinced him to release me here. I volunteer and they let me see sunlight.
You didn't trade one cell for another after all. And you get fresh air.
And servitude, dressed up like forgiveness. The Moshae keeps her high ground, and I'm the traitor who gets a second chance.
It's better than what Sloan would have done to you.
Lucky me. I should get back to work. They're not paying me to stand around. Oh, that's right. They're not paying me at all.
Invest in your personal protection. Shield yourself.
Weird question. You don't have any quinoa seeds, do you?
Yes, I do. Need some?
trust our people had a smooth transition to Aya.
The Angara have been gracious. Everything's going well.
Good. Keep me updated. 10 out.
I've never lied to a director before. Pathfinder, it's a pleasure. I'm Ambassador Riala, Chief Diplomat for the Initiative on Aya. I was removed from Cryo specifically for this. Quite the wake-up call.
I know what it's like, jumping out of the cryopod and into the fire.
You've had it far worse. My condolences on your loss. I hear you're to thank for our new ties with Aya. This is our best shot at an alliance. Now we just need to keep our people from wrecking it, no matter how hard they try.
If something's wrong, I need to know.
Maybe you can help me fix it. A Solarian botanist named Sorvis Len is here, learning how to improve our crops. He sent an urgent comm, saying a member of the Angaran resistance had threatened him.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Sorvis is an excellent scientist, but not the best communicator. I'm concerned this could escalate if someone doesn't look into it, but I don't have the staff to spare.
Talk to the governor. She wants this to work as much as we do.
I'd rather avoid that if we can resolve it ourselves. If you find time, please speak with Sorvis.
What's our end goal for Aya?
A strong alliance is all we can ask for. It's what we're working toward. Helios is the Angara's home. They dictate the terms of this partnership, not us. We need them as allies, and they could benefit from us. But we have to tread lightly.
Show them we're not invaders.
Historically, when two civilizations meet, one consumes or destroys the other. We need to break that cycle.
How many of our people have they let into the city?
A strictly limited number, and only certain professions. Scientists, engineers, and scholars. The Angara have agreed to allow some of our people to work in Aya's research facilities.
That's huge.
It's more than I expected. Tan wants me to push for social visits, but I'm holding my ground. We need to move at their pace. They've been extraordinarily gracious, all things considered. I'll take whatever they're willing to give.
How did the Jardan factor into the new alliance?
Between you and I, we all stumbled onto something much bigger than us. We'll have to be even more careful. If these Jardan ever show up, we need a plan.
A plan?
What happens when they find someone new on their turf? They were formidable enough to create an entire civilized species. Not someone I want as an enemy.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything. Sorvis Len sent another complaint about being threatened. I need someone to sort this out.
I can go settle things. I'm a friendly face for both sides.
That would be helpful. With any luck, we can prevent this from getting worse.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
Do you work on water filtration here?
I designed the system for it.
Can you sell me an ionic filter? My people need it on Eladin.
If they're tough enough for Eladin, they deserve help. Here.
Welcome back.
That's all for now.
We'll come back anytime.
Good to be back here, ready to hit those scans.
What am I looking for?
Moran called out supplies that may have useful properties for our tech. Just need to get Sam's eye on them. Take a stroll. Enjoy the market. Nav sent.
The more time I spend on Aya, the more I like it. Only problem, it's too clean up here.
I think it's nice to be somewhere without dust or ash swirling around.
I'm not comfortable unless I'm bathing in dust or ash.
I can't work under these conditions. What does it take to be left alone?
Ambassador Riala sent me to check on you. You reported that someone in the Resistance threatened you. Tell me exactly what happened.
I didn't know Riala was sending the Pathfinder. I deserve no less, of course. I was measuring the photonic dispersal from the canopies when some random brute interrupted me. I asked him to move, and he got nasty. Said it was my fault his friend was dead. Ridiculous.
Do you know what he meant by that?
He ranted nonsense about a vessel and selling slots to outsiders. He got right up in my face and compared me to a cat. He wanted to kill me. I could see it in his eyes. The whole conversation made no sense. I think he was inebriated.
Sounds like there's more to this. Don't suppose you caught his name?
Didn't ask, didn't want it, didn't need it. When he left, I tagged him with infrared dye from my sample kit. Invisible to the naked eye, but not to a scanner.
I'll scan people around the Resistance headquarters. See if I find him.
You're supposed to represent our interests on Aya. Go, represent. I have work to do.
Well, what do you think?
I could get used to this.
We take turns living here. You can see why.
I love pretty much everything about it.
I love the air, the breeze. And one day we'll have more places like this. I have faith.
You have questions? Be quick.
How do you stay busy when you're not scanning strangers from another galaxy?
I research and develop organic tactical equalizers.
That sounds scary.
Only to those who threaten Aya.
What else did your scan reveal about me?
You're strong, tough. But much of Helios is inhospitable to human biology. You won't have it easy.
Never have. How do humans stack up against your people and the Ket?
You lack biological advantages, but your technology may offset that.
Did you scan me on your own? Or did someone put you up to it? Paran? Ephra?
I'm a scientist. I want to understand anything outside my knowledge and experience.
All that information you collect is for personal use?
Of course not. Angara share knowledge. It's how we survive.
It can't have been easy, holding out by yourselves against the Ket.
Before them, it was the Scourge. Our entire civilization was almost wiped out. Centuries of rebuilding.
It says a lot that you've made it this far.
We'll go much further.
Thanks for your time.
Yes, yes. Go.
The Moshai said we should speak. You remember the Ket's arrival.
One of them came to our city on a vow to offer lavish gifts. We lined up along the street to watch the alien walk with our ambassador. As it passed, it stopped and knelt in front of me. I still dream of what it said. Young one, you are meant for greatness.
The Ket lured your people into a false friendship.
It worked. A month later, our council disappeared. Our city was thrown into chaos. And when the Ket came again, it was to conquer us at our weakest. They're cunning. They know what you desire, and they offer it. Be careful.
Moved Team Vayon to replace them? No, 6-9 is still unstable. We out of food in 2 days. Had ammo in 3. They have to fall back.
Sounds like you've got trouble.
Too many Ket, not enough resistance. Have a team that's been in the field for 6 months without resupply. They won't come in. Say they're close to taking down a Ket outpost, but I don't know.
If they could do it alone, they would have by now. Send reinforcements.
Hitting the enemy in one place leaves us vulnerable elsewhere. But you're right. This is the hardest part of my job. Thank you for the advice, Pathfinder.
Let's go over this again, everyone. Center, ground, focus. That's right.
Sam, what's this?
The decontamination console for visitors to the med center. Touch the start pad to use it. I detect the infrared dye Silvis Len used to mark the person who threatened him.
That's our man.
Going in down there. I could use a workout.
I know why you're here. The botanist. You want an apology for what I said to him.
I only have one side of the story. Tell me yours.
It's hard to explain.
Try me.
Aya isn't big enough to give everyone a home. We each live here a short time and then move on. For someone to come, another must go. The exchanges are chosen at random. We call this arrangement the Vassal. Time of change. It worked well. Until now.
The Vassal never accounted for outsiders living on Aya.
There's only so much room. When our leaders agreed to make a place for your people here, it came with a cost. My friend won a place on Aya, but he sold that slot so one of you could stay here instead.
Sold it how? What did he get?
Comforts for his family, resources to improve their home on Haval. He always put others before himself. That's how he died, fighting Ket on Vold. When I found out, I was angry. Said things to your botanist I shouldn't have, but I'd never hurt your people.
I believe you. And I'm sorry for your loss. Between us, that botanist is kind of a jerk.
He didn't fear my anger. I respect that.
I'll talk to our ambassador. See if we can minimize our impact on your Vassal.
We don't expect things to be easy. Only that you understand, nothing is free for us.
Pathfinder, Ephra cleared you to purchase weapons over my objections.
Anything I buy will be used to fight Cat.
You fight our enemy, but you're not one of us. Remember that.
It took humanity 8 years to get a Citadel embassy back home. Pretty impressive to get one here so fast.
All it took was handling some remnant.
You couldn't knock out
It'll take more to keep this partnership going. Ambassador Riala will handle the embassy. Lets us focus on everything else.
No entering the med center until you're clean.
How do I decontaminate?
Ion console. Touch the start pad, it does the rest.
Sam, is this thing safe?
Yes. The slight ringing in your ears is nothing to worry about.
Very reassuring. My people on Kadara are fighting a bacterial infection. Do you have antibiotics?
Of course. Will this do?
You're not supposed to be here.
Rorik sent me to find you. He wanted me to give you this cryo bracelet.
Rorik? I don't want it. Take it away. I want nothing to do with Rorik. With any of you.
You've been through a lot, haven't you?
You wouldn't want to hear about it.
Try me.
I was dumped by scavengers. Outsiders who left me for dead. I thought I could come to Aya and feel safe with my people. Forget what happened. And now you're here. Seems like no matter where I go, I can't escape outsiders. All of you need to just go away and leave me alone.
You were jumped by scavengers?
On Eladon. They said they had salvage to sell. I was stupid enough to follow them. Once we were alone, they attacked. Left me for dead. Took my ship and flew off-world.
How did you get back?
I walked. 3 hours on the dunes with a few broken ribs. Rode back to Kadara with another salvager.
I can't change your mind if that's how you really feel.
It is.
So I should tell Rorik you aren't coming back.
No, don't. He'd blame himself if he knew what happened. It's your choice, but think about it.
Ryder, they've got amazing RemTech research going on here.
She spent her life trying to understand our past, and it was created for us.
Ryder, knowing the Angara were created, it blows my mind. The Jardin did this. Developed a new species and evolved them to sentience.
It's an astounding feat.
Makes me wonder what happens if the Jardin come back, you know? We're not the big kids on this block.
Pathfinder, did you make it to Hervarl?
I found this Angaran helmet. Does it mean anything to you?
This is a pre-Dark Age design. Do you see the black marks? The Scourge targeted this pilot's ship. Stars, it's perfectly preserved. I can almost imagine the pilot. He must have been so afraid. I've never seen one of these intact. Do you know how rare this is? I can't even begin to repay you.
If it makes you that happy, I'll gladly dig up a few more.
Do you offer priceless relics to every Angara you meet?
Only the special ones?
I'll keep that in mind. You know, Pathfinder, this gets me thinking. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even know that helmet existed. What if that's not all we're missing? There could be a wealth of history just out of our reach. So, I'm requesting your help again.
For you? Anything.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the sound of that. I've led digs on every Angaran homeworld, but there are places I've missed, areas only a Pathfinder could go. There could be relics sitting untouched for centuries because no one could reach them. What I ask is this: if you ever find yourself in an area like that, you keep an eye out for artifacts.
That's it?
That's it. Keep me in mind as you explore, and bring me anything of interest.
It'd help if I knew where to look.
The worlds we've inhabited are Vold, Kadara, and Eladin. I've searched them all, but each had obstacles preventing me from looking everywhere.
You're the expert. Can't you just come with me?
I'd like to, more than anything, but I'm needed here. My predecessor trusted me to stay and carry on his work, to find answers. No matter how much I miss the adventure, I have a responsibility here.
A few hidden relics coming up.
I don't know what I'd do without you. I'll be here if you find anything. Good luck.
You know, as an Aya resident, it's your duty to show the new guy around.
I see. Is that a human custom?
Oh yeah, a very important one.
Then I'm sure Piran will be happy to give you a tour.
You said the helmet was touched by the Scourge. What does that mean?
I forget your people weren't around for that. When the Scourge appeared, it targeted remnant ships, broke down their technology. With the drive cores disabled...
The ships crashed.
But that may not be all. The Scourge leaves a mark on whatever it touches. If it touched this helmet, perhaps the pilot was the target. There may be remnant tech inside the helmet.
Or in the pilot.
Storms. I hadn't even thought of that.
Any insight you can give me on the remnant tech?
We don't know much. To our understanding, it's always been here. Stars. I would love to be the one to solve that mystery.
This is quite a place.
It feels like home to me. Sometimes I think I should move in here. But it's got a long way to go. Someday we'll fill it with relics of the past, each one telling a story. And my people will come here to learn. And to remember.
You'll get there.
With enough hard work, yes.
Is it normal for someone as young as you to be in charge?
I'm no younger than you. And you're a Pathfinder.
I kinda inherited the job.
So did I. I was apprenticed to the former curator. It was my job to bring him artifacts from other worlds. When he retired, I sort of fell into his position.
Do you miss relic hunting?
Some days, but mostly I'm happy to spend more time with each piece.
Have you always been into history?
Oh yes. When I was young, I would dig up shells and pretend they were ancient armor pieces. I've always had a big imagination. With only 14 siblings, I got lonely sometimes.
14? That's insane.
Why? How many do you have?
Just the one.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
I'll come back when I have something.
Stars guide your travels.
When I signed on to the initiative, enjoying alien cultures.
I aim to establish communities, not integrate with an advanced civilization. That's funny.
I think the Angara were just being polite to me.
They're as curious about us as we are about them.
It was a lot.
If I should have come to me.
Uxul, I'm all right.
You almost died. What's he doing here?
Relax. I was invited.
So it's true. Aya has opened its doors to outsiders.
Axel, Ryder rescued me from the Ket. He risked his life to...
Sloane Kelly saved Kadara. Look how that went.
I want to be allies. Equal allies.
You don't even treat your own equally. Isn't that why the Krogan left?
How did you...
I've been watching you. You're invaders just like the Ket, except less cautious.
What does that mean?
You'll know soon enough. Do not trust them, Chauvin.
Axel... He didn't used to be like this. He was curious, brilliant. But the Ket... Even without exaltation, they change us.
There's still time to bring him around.
I want to believe that, but his hatred towards aliens...
I'll prove we can be trusted.
I hope so.
Ryder, we just received an emergency recording from EOS. Come to the meeting room when you get back to the Tempest.
Hey, Alexei, I tracked down some samples of Angara. Not today, next week.
Liam?
God damn it.
What's going on?
Nothing to worry about. Just come grab a table with me.
Whatever you're making, I have something to...
I'm not selling to aliens.
Pathfinder, you're good here. We'll worry about the data another time.
Liam, what's going on?
I, figured we should head up somewhere nice and open. You were being cased.
Are you getting me in trouble? What was this about?
We're not in trouble exactly, but I don't blame them for being angry. I wanted to get data that would help yields at our outposts. Baran told me what to scan, but I called it off. I still owe her, but it's better than pissing off some gouging hardliner. Sorry I didn't clue you in. It's a security thing. Food is security.
Liam, I deserve better than having this sprung on me mid-market.
You're right, of course, you're right. And the Angara are right too. The last people who showed up out of the blue were the Ket, the ultimate users. I don't want us getting lumped in with them, and I really, really don't want to ruin the market. Street food and shooting the shit with you? Feels normal. About time something did.
Let's not push our luck. We'll save the market for another day.
Good idea, Pathfinder. We've enough trouble. Probably more coming.
Good to see you. Any news on what happened to Sorvis Len?
Do you know about the Visal? The Angaran lottery that decides who gets to live on Aya?
I've heard of it. Why?
Angar are selling their slots to come here, so our people can stay in their place. Including a member of the Angaran resistance. He was killed on Vold. Wouldn't have happened if he'd been here.
No one told me of this arrangement. Well, we have to do something.
If we reward the Angara for their sacrifice, maybe they won't resent our being here.
And we can ensure their survivors receive compensation in situations like this. Thank you, Pathfinder. I'll forward your proposal to Director 10 immediately.
How are things going? Anything else I can do to help out?
Actually, yes. Director 10 gave me a project. He wants more Aya natives to live on the Nexus. He thinks it will deepen our partnership. A few Angara expressed interest, but none of them will agree to live on the Nexus without speaking to you first.
Why me?
After what you've accomplished? I didn't want to bother you, but you asked. I'll point you towards the candidates. If you could convince them to transfer, I'd be grateful.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
I found the person who threatened you.
I assume I can continue my work undisturbed?
Next time your big mouth lands you in trouble, I may not save you.
We'll see what Director 10 has to say about that.
Tell him I say hi.
You're interfering with my readings. Good day, Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, Ambassador Riala didn't think you'd have time for me.
She said you needed to talk before agreeing to live on the Nexus.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm an anthropologist, but I've only ever studied my own people. I've heard the Nexus is home to multiple species and cultures. It will be fascinating and possibly dangerous. Bacteria, viruses, other contaminants. My family worries about me. Are you sure I'll be safe?
They wouldn't let me on Aya if I was a walking petri dish, would they?
You aren't taking this seriously enough to satisfy my family. I can't go without their blessing. I'm sorry.
To your birth, Sarbench. Better late than never.
You're one of Ambassador Riala's candidates to live on the Nexus.
I am. Glad you finally showed up. Let's get down to it. I've lived my whole life wanting to meet aliens who didn't want me dead. But my family's here. How can I stay in touch with them from the Nexus?
You can send messages, talk to them on the comm. We'll even arrange a visit.
You get it. All right. I'm in.
The Moshai said you remember when the Ket arrived.
My father's oldest friend was chosen to be Volt's ambassador to the Ket. The day he left, they embraced as brothers. All the Ket sent back was his badge, and a holo recording I wasn't allowed to watch. I was too young to understand why everyone was scared. Why my father mourned for months.
I can imagine how terrifying that was for a child.
What frightened me was seeing how helpless my parents felt. All our leaders were confused and fearful. The terror made us hesitate. That's when the Ket struck. They'll try the same with you. Be ready.
Ambassador Riala said you're thinking of moving to the Nexus.
Pathfinder. I'm honored even to be considered for the transfer, but I won't be happy as just an observer. I need to work. I engineer power systems. Will I be allowed employment alongside your people?
That's the whole point of this exchange. The Nexus needs people like you.
That's all I needed to hear. I'll have your ambassador start the transfer. Thank you.
I found Kiloa seeds for Eos. Is this enough?
It's perfect. I'll make sure Eos gets them. More of your outposts need help, if you have time. Vol's power grid is lagging without proper solar input. A solar amplifier would give them a boost. The solar technicians here may have the required parts.
I'll see what I can find. You work on the solar panels? Do you have an amplifier for solar energy?
Nothing as big as these, but I have a smaller one on hand. Do you need it?
Here, I have the antibiotics for Kadara. Will the settlers be okay?
Once they have these, they'll be fine. I'll make sure they know who to thank.
Here, I found the solar amplifier for Vold.
They'll be happy to see this. No more power outages. Thank you, Pathfinder.
I managed to find an ionic filter for Eladin. Make sure they get it.
I'll get this delivered right away. They'll be relieved to have enough water.
Ryder, Liam's looking for you.
You have new email at your terminal, Pathfinder. You have AVP outstanding, Pathfinder.
More tests? You said...
I know what I... said, but your protein levels are on the low side.
Doc, I'm missing 3 lungs. Who gives a shit about protein levels?
I do.
Just let her worry about you, old man.
Pathfinder, you have pending vid calls.
Suvi, play the full distress call from Prodromos.
Right away.
This is the Initiative Outpost Prodromos on Eos. We're in need of assistance. Tempest, this one is for you. We've got hostiles inbound. No ground activity, but there soon will be. Pathfinder, we need you. Going dark until it's resolved. We're not giving up Eos again. Out.
That's the last we heard? Nothing else?
No Ryder, but also no alarms. The orbital buoy isn't showing any major traffic. Bradley's military, all about the prep. I bet it's a brownout to present less of a target.
Could use more information than just hostiles and the worry of escalation.
Could be he's worried it's not a simple attack. If someone's willing to risk attacking Prodromos, your first outpost...
They're trying to make a point. Keep the nav fresh. I'll be on the bridge soon.
Understood.
What's the strategy for not losing your progress?
There isn't one. If you land on the snake's head, you just go to its tail. No strategy.
What? Oh, this thing. Come on, I need a way out of this.
Not sure.
Something I should know about?
Hey, I was just... How you doing? I'm... Great, just, yeah, I told you I'd screw it up, and I have. Remember Varand? I contacted the Angara? She's gone. The whole group is gone. Sudden. So, yeah, up for a rescue? Because if we don't, we could be next.
You seem pretty sure this is your fault, but I'm not hearing why.
Yeah, because I gave Varand Nexus data and nav points.
Why would you do that?
We need to know how to live here. I tried asking. I tried taking. No one would help outsiders. So I took initiative. Gave her data and tech so she could mod it. Varand was... She is a good risk. But if pirates interrogate her or barter her to the Ket, it's our heads.
This goes south? You're on the hook for it.
I know, and I'll fix it. I got a lead from a trader. A grainy visual. We find that system, we find our bad guys. I also asked Bradley for people to help intercept. I thought they might want to pitch in.
How are a bunch of settlers supposed to help?
That's what he said. We're on our own. I'll forward the visual to the bridge for when you want to start hunting. And... sorry.
So you can fix it?
It's just editing a config file. You could probably fix it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From Prodromos is repeating.
We need a closer look.
I hear that.